These are mindfulness inquiry questions. Thoughts will come in. We're not really trying to reason it out or think it through. It's more that we're dropping the question in and then listening. If you could interview your inner critic, what would it tell you about its job? What is it trying to accomplish? Why is it here? Did it take over for a parent? Is it in a parent's voice? Bring a recent example to mind. Maybe there's a tirade going on in your head or a scolding. Really bring it to life. Use a still photo or a video clip. There might be words with it, tone of voice. Just work with whatever comes to mind. Stay connected with your body and breath. We have these tools. We could do tapping, we could put it in a frame to help us remain mindful. Take that step back. Sense into what was the goal. What was your inner critic trying to accomplish in that specific situation? What was going on? You could pause the recording and look at a few different incidences. Are they different? Is there a similar undertone with them? What kind of things does the inner critic say? When does it come up? What do you think the underlying drive for that is? In inquiry, there are no right or wrong answers. We're just looking. What's coming forward? Is it possible your inner critic was trying to get you to hold back, to protect you from something? Could be a social threat, an emotional one. And really notice the energy in your body. Keep your breath steady. Then look at the effectiveness of it. If there is a purpose for the inner critic, and there always is, did it accomplish its goal? If it was trying to stop you from saying something at a party, was it effective? Notice if there's any relationship with shame. What are some other options? How else could you have met that goal other than shaming yourself? Is this a shaming experience? Is that what you feel? What is your internal experience with the inner critic and how it operates? Core deficiency beliefs have a big role in this. There's a fundamental feeling of something wrong with us. We develop that feeling based on our experiences in childhood. What if it was never your fault? Children always take on the blame because that gives us at least a small chance that maybe we could be smarter, quieter, talk better, be more entertaining, not be so much trouble. If it's our behavior that's causing the problems with our parents, then we have a chance to change our behavior. And there's a desperateness in this. Many children develop a real feeling of there's something fundamentally wrong with me. And this inner critic develops in part to try to mitigate the damage from that. So if you have a pattern of an inner critic, let's look at how core deficiency beliefs play into that. As you're sitting with this, it was never my fault. We're looking for a reaction. What's your response to that in your body and in your mind? The inner critic might have a lot to say about that. Well, you could have kept your room cleaner. You could have paid more attention in school. You could have, you should have. We were children. Children have a limited capacity, and all human beings react and respond to the environment that they're in. It was never your fault. Now, let's consider if it would be safe for you to let go of your deficiency beliefs. Is it safe to let go of the inner critic? What would happen then? Let your body answer. Is it safe? Stay really connected with your body. Notice your energy. If there's a tightening, an emotion coming up, if your breath is changing, is it safe to let go of this inner critic? What would be the downside of that? If I were never again to have that inner critic voice, what would your life be like? Often we believe that we need that to get us out of bed at the morning, to keep us working hard. All of those things you drive yourself with now through that critic voice, would those get done? At times when we feel safe and we're free from the inner critic, we're able to be open and authentic. We're not worried that we're going to be judged. A lot of the inner critic job is about keeping us playing small so we won't be judged. Notice if that's part of what's happening here for you. What is the response in your body and energy and thoughts to that? I'm worried I'm going to be judged, and that is why I hold on so tightly. Maybe you really were judged, always found wanting, never did it good enough. The memory of how horrible that was is part of what drives this. Pause the recording anytime. Stay connected with your body and breath and really grounded in witnessing. And reflect back over the inquiry. What is the job of the inner critic? Where did it get the job? What would it take for the inner critic to retire from the job? Or maybe there's another role it could play. It could encourage us, it could help us to evaluate threat in a more realistic way, encourage us, and give us the support and the nurturance that we need. What is the cost of driving ourselves this way, of shaming ourselves, of living in that toxic stew of shame? This is a pattern or a habit that developed a long time ago. It's possible to use our adult mind and inquiry and our willingness to get to know ourselves and to be kind with ourselves, to let this pattern loosen up and actually to turn it around so that we become our own supporter, our own friend. Just like with catastrophic worst case scenario thinking, we need to stop. We need to be aware of it. And as soon as we're aware of it, we need to stop. We do something to distract ourselves. We do a breathing practice. We just notice and go, I'm not doing that anymore. Very similar with the inner critic. The steps to really work with this are to be aware of it, kind of set a mindfulness goal, if you will, to notice when the inner critic's coming up. And it can be something kind of outrageous, but also it's so familiar that we often don't even know that it's there. As soon as we notice it, we might do a little mini inquiry into it. Oh, why is this here right now? What is the purpose of this? What is the goal of this? And how could I support myself instead of shaming myself? And take a few deep breaths. Come out of the inquiry. Stay really grounded in this perspective as you move through your day.